Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, we're covering part 2 to the story I covered earlier, all about the guy who, sadly discovered that his fiancée is a big giant cheater. And as you all recall, they had breakups and all sorts of things like that, and it's a freaking mess. And where things left off, she was crying, obviously wanted a second chance. The parents are trying to convince him to stay with her, continue with the wedding. He's in love with her, but he's still torn, blah, blah, blah. But our guy's on the path to handling things right. So we're going to continue where things left off, and, there's been quite a lot of events since. So he continues, saying, thank you all for your comments of support and comfort, and to those that are telling me what I need to hear. See, this is where Reddit pays off. People tell you things you need to hear. And unfortunately, there's a lot of idiots on Reddit and tell you the wrong things, but you got to sort through that. I haven't yet made a decision on what I want to do. Smack! Well, he's going to. This is a series of updates. But I'm taking this minute by minute, second by second. The pain is too great to bear, and I'm a wreck at the moment. The last 24 hours have been a blur, to say the least. I feel like my brain is disassociating from my body. I want to make some points to clear up about my issue. Number one, the trip she took previously was most definitely a work trip, and I know that for a fact. I have all the evidence to prove it on my own. That's where she went to Panama City, claimed a guy kissed her or whatever. Nothing happened. 2, the trip she was packing for when I found out about her cheating on me was a girls' trip with a separate group of friends, also bridesmaids. The friend in question that helped encourage her to cheat on me is not in attendance, thank God. Oh, okay. Like she's not going to do other things on this girls' trip? Nothing good comes from these girls' trips, especially with someone with her character. 3, my partner's involvement in what happened with my parents isn't 100% the reason why we are in no contact at this moment. My parents did just as much, if not more, to me than they did to her. That's not exactly to say that I was out of the picture. The situation will be exactly the same. He's so vague about the parental situation, but okay, whatever. To her credit, not that she deserves much, because this should be bare minimum, she has told me time and time again how sorry she is and how much she loves me and wants to reconcile the relationship. That's what they say, brother. That's what they all say. And they go back to what they've been doing. She's showing great remorse over what happened, but for some reason, it just doesn't feel like enough. Thank you. Listen to your gut. I'm not sure that anything she can do will feel like enough. Because you don't trust her. She's a cheater, and that's why you can't stay with her. She was supposed to be the person I trust the most in the world, the person who should have my back no matter what. Instead, she betrayed me, made a fool out of me, and worse yet, she lied about it for weeks/months, and I'm still unsure about the timeline, unfortunately. I've told her that she needs to get the text back, and apparently she's working on it, whatever that means. Bro, no she's not. She's going to do the bare minimum to keep you around, and it's working pretty good. Smack! You should have dumped her. But I know it's coming. She's also vowed to stop speaking with her best friend and anyone related, and is committed 100% to fixing our relationship. Translation, she's putting all the blame on the best friend. Instead of her, she's the one that spread her legs for her ex and opened her mouth for him. I've asked her to give me some space to work through my emotions and figure out the next steps, whatever they are. I'm not going to make any rash decisions at all until I've had a chance to process what I've just been through. I know many of you are calling me to cancel the wedding. I just need time to figure out what I really want out of all this. I think what he's writing here was like 24 hours after the first post, because this is a few months old that I found. On the one hand, 7 years with her is a very long time to throw away. Some would likely argue she already threw it away. Yeah, brother, she threw it away, not you. And starting over feels like a nightmare. You're like 25. What do you mean it's a nightmare to start over here? For goodness sake almighty, dude. Shit. I'd love to go back in time and be 25 again and have all the knowledge I have right now be 25 again. First of all, I get fucking rich because I know everything would happen over the next 20-some years in the stock market and the economy. But putting that aside, because I'm always going to think about money, all the knowledge I have now, goddamn. You got your life ahead of you. Start over. Goodness sake, man. Had to say it. I know you guys are probably thinking the same thing. Anyhow, on the other hand, my trust in her is completely shattered, and I don't know how to corroborate anything she says anymore. Her parents are trying really hard to play both sides, but I know obviously that when push comes to shove, they will have her back no matter what. Yes, remember that, brother. They are nice people, and I don't want to discredit them, but I'm just stating the facts. Well, last night, I allowed her to sleep in the same bed as me. Smack! Oh, great. So she can start giving you hand jobs and rubbing your back and roping you in how she knows how to do it. Which was probably a mistake because I just don't feel safe with her anymore. She took that from me. Every time I close my eyes, I just imagine her with him, and it kills me. And having her literally right next to me while I was doing that only made it worse. Whether or not she actually had any physical intimacy with him isn't the point. She just clearly wanted it. I end up sobbing myself to sleep while desperately avoiding her touch in bed at all costs. Smack! Dude, for God's sakes, man. I get that you're hurt, but don't do that in front of her. Again, guys, this is what happens when you are... Well, I'm just going to say it. He spent his whole life overweight. He's going to mention that pretty soon. Very overweight. And thinking that this chick's the only option he has. This is why I encourage all you guys to work hard to better yourselves so you don't put up with bullshit. When I woke up, she was already gone for her trip. I have a few days now away from her to clear my head and try to make sense of all these things without her to coerce me one way or another. I may consider staying with a friend during this time to also resolve myself from the household with her parents so I can be totally isolated. There is a good idea. Get away from there. Okay, update number 2, and listen to this. He says here, well, you were all right. She was in fact having a full-blown affair with her ex-boyfriend. I met up with him today to get some answers from him, and he told me everything. Damn, good for him. I'm glad he's taking action here. Go confront the fucker. I'm so hurt. How could she do this to me? There were videos. They met up at least 15 to 20 times. I'm devastated. This will be the last update I make. Thank you all for helping me see the light. It's not his last update. There you go. No confusion. Videos. Of course, Chatter Tyrone here was making recordings 15 to 20 times. This is the same girl. It only happened once, and nothing happened at all. We only got together. Blah, blah, blah. She's a big, giant fucking liar. All the signs were there. This is why, guys, once a cheater, always a cheater. Well, update number 3. I know I said the previous update would be the last update, but I felt I needed some time to come here and update since there have been a lot of things that have happened since my last update. I have left her. There was no way I could stay in a situation after that, what she did to me. Thank the Lord. Good for you, brother. I was beginning to lose hope when I first read this. I'm sorry you went through this. A lot of guys are like you, but you will be fine. You just have to get your shit together. Thank you all for the comments, and thank you for pushing me to do what needed to be done for me to find out the truth. I don't think I would have met up with the guy she cheated on me with if not for this Reddit thread, and I cannot thank you all enough. Good. This is where Reddit helps, dudes. Community. A community of guys really help. You guys have truly saved my life. And for the record, I fucking hate him for his part in all this. He knew she was engaged. He was also cheating on someone else who I've yet to identify. That's a Chad and Tyrone roll. Of course he's a banging another chick. And she'll go back to this guy crying and pleading that he's cheating on her. How funny is that? However, I do have some little respect for him since he told me the truth and let me get some closure. I wouldn't have respect for him, dude. Smack! He probably had an ulterior motive. He let me take all the evidence off his phone. I'm sure he did this for selfish reasons. I know he wants to be with her, but still, I had what I needed. Good. After meeting with him, I called her parents and told them everything. I showed her parents the text, and they told me how sorry they were. Little did I know, I would find out that her mother knew about it already. God damn. The future mother-in-law knew. Meanwhile, her dad saying they're there to him and wanting him to stay with her. He has no idea, but the mom knows the whole time. The maid of dishonor, the best friend, and the mom. I've heard this before. Now you can't be with that family. Her mother had pieced it together a little bit before I did, as evidence in the text that my now ex had shared with the guy she was cheating with me on. Her mother is so awful for that. I don't know how she'll be able to live with herself that I was living in their house and their daughter was cheating on me. What a freaking joke. You bet it's a joke. Now, the father should really question the loyalty of his wife, because probably she's a big giant cheater too. Her father, however, was completely blindsided and completely sorry for me. I left the house that day and moved back in with my parents, who were so glad I was home. Isn't that interesting? The whole big mysterious blowout with him and his parents, and all of a sudden they're taking him back and they're glad he's home. I'm telling you, it had to do with her. They probably were warning him about her, said she was trouble, don't get back with her. He probably was like, you don't know her, Mom and Dad, and I'm leaving. That's probably what happened. I'm speculating here. I didn't even wait for my ex to return from the trip because fuck that. After I moved back in with my parents, I did spiral out for a few days after no sleep. I read every text, every time she met up with him, every little thing she said about me. And the craziest part, she badmouthed me to him so much. I think that part hurts worse than the actual sex they were having. I was the perfect gentleman to her. I stood by her and defended her through everything. I left my family for her sake, and she still told him that I was a fat, disgusting fuck, and she hates me. Oh, man, that's awful. And you hear what he said? I left my family for her. So it was all about her. He just couldn't admit that in the first part of the story. That hurt worse than I think. She was also sending him links to engagement rings while wearing the one that I had given to her. That hurt so badly I can't put into words. She made him change her contact name on his phone to his last name. I was completely devastated. It was so much worse than I could ever imagine. Yeah, this poor guy. But again, this is what all the signs are being sent to him. So guys, let's learn from his mistakes here. In my spiraling, I was able to piece together some truly horrifying information by cross-referencing the text between him and her on certain dates, and her and I on certain dates. On Thursday, June 12th, as in 2025, guys, my ex and I were both working from home. Her parents had left the house to run errands, and that was usually our time to be intimate. We were in separate rooms, working, so I texted her and asked her if she wanted to have you-know-what, and she responded, LOL. That's not the response you want when you want to get romantic. At that time, I had thought that maybe she was just busy or not in the mood. Later that day, she had a dentist appointment, and she had to leave work in the house a little early at 4 p.m. We had also had plans to go to my grandparents' house for dinner that night. When she left for the dentist, she kissed me goodbye and told me that on her way home, that she would stop at the dollar store to pick up a card for my grandfather for Father's Day, since it was that upcoming Sunday, and we wouldn't see him for Father's Day. I thanked her for doing so, and I told my grandmother that we would be there around 6 or 6:30. I remember that day very well. I remember thinking to myself, what the fuck was taking her so long at the dollar store? It had gotten all the way to 5:45, and my grandparents lived half an hour away. Why was she spending so much time there? While at the dentist, she was texting him and told him to meet her at the dollar store parking lot. She met with him and sucked his dick in the car and then came home. With his dick still on her nasty fucking breath, got into my car with me and came with me to my grandparents' house. I've heard about loving at the gas station parking lot. Now we have the dollar store parking lot. God almighty. Shameless. And this is the same girl crying, and I love you, want to be with you, blah, blah, blah. I kissed them both on the cheek with his dick on her lips. She kissed them both on their cheeks with his dick on her lips, and then sat down with us at dinner table while talking about wedding plans. This shit is so fucking evil. I'm completely mortified that I didn't see it sooner. You didn't want to see it, man. You made your whole life about her. You didn't want to see it. But you're not alone. A lot of guys do this. Well, when she returned from her girls' trip, I thought it was time for me to deceive her. Time for me to lie to her face and make her feel like crap. Time for revenge. Amen, brother. That's what we want to hear. This is redemption time. Time to fuck with her a little bit. Go fuck one of her friends. Lose some weight, get some confidence, then go fuck one of her friends. I told her that I still loved her and I wanted to work it out. I told her that she didn't need to lose me over this and that I wanted to see her again. But if there was any hope of moving past this, I needed to know the entire truth. Everything that she had done, I was lying to her, of course. I needed her to face me. I needed her to tell me the entire truth. Brother, she is not going to tell you the entire truth. She'll tell you more in hopes of getting you back and saving the wedding. She ain't telling you the whole truth. Well, I met up with her in the parking lot and got into her car. Where? The dollar store, dude? I'm sure this is going to turn out different. She was bawling her eyes out, Hobag Handbook Chapter 2, and she told me she was so sorry for everything. I pulled up the text that I got and made her explain every little thing she did. Every meeting, what she did, dates, everything. I made her feel like complete shit and humiliated her for over 2 hours. Well, good, she deserves it. I yelled at her harder than I ever yelled at anybody in my life because I'd never been so hurt in this way before. Then at the end, when she was still hopeful we could reconcile, I pulled out the ring box with that her ring came in. I asked her if she wanted it back, and she was so hopeful in that moment, so thankful that our love was stronger than this choice she made to betray me. Well, I opened the ring box, and it was empty. Nice, dude. Gollum got to it, huh? I told her that she was a disgusting pig, and she would regret this for the rest of her life, and that I never wanted to see her again for the rest of mine. Well, her face turned white. She told me to get out of her car. So I did, slamming the door and giving her the finger while screaming, "Fuck you." There's some things I would handle differently here, but by and large, I'm liking the revenge. Our guy's growing a pair here. Well, I got into my car and started to drive home when I saw her following me. I called her on the phone, and she was screaming about how much she loved me, and I told her to get the fuck away from me and go home. She turned her car around, and that was the last time I ever saw her and hope to ever see her again. Good for you, brother. I would do a few things differently, but regardless, good for you. I know that was hard to do, and I know you're hurting, but good job, man. I'm so heartbroken over this whole thing. It's understandable. I truly did love this girl for what it's worth. I still do love her. It's not like I can switch and turn it on and off. But I can in no way, shape, or form pursue anything with her ever again after knowing what I know. Good, man. That makes you better than people that can just be indifferent. Because you know, even though you love what you don't love her. Let's make this clear, guys. He doesn't love her because the real her is a piece of garbage. He loves the idea of her, what he thought she was. Make that clear. But it's going to be a roller coaster. But he still did what he had to do. How could a person do this to another person? After everything we've been through, all the trials and tribulations, she still betrayed me. In the end, I give up everything for her. She's such a pig. Yes, she is. A pig and a lot of other fucking things. But my man, remember all the breakups beforehand. These were signs. It wasn't going to work. I know she knows about this Reddit thread. And to her, I just want to say that you made the worst choice of your life. I hope you're truly embarrassed having to face your entire family who loved us and our relationship, who were excited for the wedding and our future. I hope you get the help that you need, and I'm sorry I wasn't enough for you. Truly, I don't think anyone will truly ever be enough for you. You lost me in this way. Well, actually, probably the guy that she was sleeping with, the ex-boyfriend of 6 months, and that little breakup in between, he'd probably be enough for her. He probably wouldn't make enough money for her, but everything else to give her the butterflies and all that shit. But at the end of the day, probably you never make her happy. But you know what? Our guy here, success can be his best revenge. I said to her, you had everything and you had a beautiful life waiting for you. All you had to do was not fuck it all up. But you did, and you have to live with that until the day you die. I hope you never know peace, never know true happiness, and I hope it fucking hurts when I find a woman who deserves everything that I was so rarely willing to give to you. Don't get carried away, brother. You need to learn from this to realize you can't treat women like the queen. But he will. This truly will be the last update to this thread. Thank you all. Well, guess what? That wasn't his last update. Here's the last update. Update number 4. Just kidding, one more update. I realize now that some of this post in the beginning was bashing my parents. I just want to say that I love my parents. They saw what I did not in my ex, and that was why we got into the big blowout fight. Told you. I was too blind to see all that right now. Hindsight really is 2020. Maybe if I just listened to them, I would have gotten into this mess in the first place. My parents are wonderful people and have supported me tenfold through this difficult time. Even after everything that happened in the last year, just want to make that known. I love you, Mom and Dad. Well, these are good parents. I knew it from the get-go that it was about her. You know, they were warning him. And this guy was probably like your typical nice guy simp. And a lot of these stories, maybe you guys know somebody in your life like this is with the wrong girl, and you're trying to tell them as a friend or a brother, you know, she's cheating or she's trouble, and they don't want to hear it. And I'm sure you've all known at least one guy like this. And until they have to see and suffer on their own, they're not going to, and so these parents, being good parents, were like, okay, dumbass, you can come back home. We love you still. next time fucking listen to us. So anyhow, guys, lots of mistakes he made. But he was a typical guy, typical nice guy. Now, I want to point something out. I'm not going to read it, but there are further updates about what he was doing, and he was really struggling for the last few months. Depression, thinking about everything, the big picture, because 7 years is a long time. But he mentioned, listen to this, he lost 40 pounds. It's fucking great. Lost 40 pounds. Even though he's stressed, unhappy, he lost 40 pounds. And when he got to the point where it seemed like he couldn't lose anymore, he was going to potentially go down the path of using those drugs, like the weight loss drugs and everything. And while obviously that's meant for extreme cases or caution, the point is the guy's turning his life around. Sounds like he's hanging out with his bros. He has some good ambitions. So 7 years takes a long time to get over someone. So the guy, he's moving in the right direction. So good for him. The best thing he can do is get himself in a healthy time period, in good shape. Healthy, fit, even maybe really in good shape if he joins the gym and gives it time. Gets his shit together, learns where he made mistakes, changes that, becomes R-pilled. And one day, he'll look fantastic, making a good living and money, and she'll just get older and lose her looks, and she'll be begging him back. And he says, and tells her to go suck some guy's dick in the dollar store because he ain't taking her back. So there you go, guys. I know it was frustrating in the first video and most of this, but he handled it right. So that's all we can hope for. Alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.